Well, welcome to our power call for Friday, and it is our great pleasure to have with us today Curtis FULLMER, who is the president and the CIO of Oliabo. You guys all know who that is and how important that is, and it's great for him to take a couple of minutes out of his day there in Murray, Utah to join us. So welcome, Curtis.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and thanks for allowing me to join you.
So, Curtis, as we look at network marketing, one of the things that all of us are aware of, we ask people for the two most valuable things they have, their time and their credibility. And to that point, in the type of business that we're in, you're never any better than the people you're in business with. And you and the people at Oliabo, you guys have put together a tremendous team of people with a lot of depth and knowledge and history. There's always a statement, success leaves clues. And you guys have left a pretty good path of success clues for us to be able to follow you. So if you would, Curtis, maybe tell us a little bit about where you grew up, where you came from early on in your life, and then we'll get into the Oliabo part here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, would love to. You want me to give a little bit of background on the career path too?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, happy to do it. So, Curtis FULLMER, I was born and raised in Southern California. I was actually born in Northridge, which is near LA area, out on the coast there, and grew up there. So, spent time then in my teen years in Orange County near Anaheim. Disneyland area, if you will. So that's where I went to high school, and that's actually where I started getting my entrepreneurial bug. I was a kid selling candy out of my locker at school, and in my younger days, I always had a lemonade stand on the corner. Anything I could do to kind of hustle and just have a little bit more freedom and opportunity to go to the movie I wanted to go see or buy the candy I wanted to get. That's just kind of was in me from an early age. And so that then led, of course, to generating more of a desire to continue that as I got older. And in my college years, this was the mid to late 90s was when I got into college. And that's when I met a friend who could develop websites and program websites. And so that combination of my early entrepreneurial drive with his ability to build websites in this nascent internet world and e-commerce, and that combination of things really sparked my interest, and I thought, wait a second, so I can come up with some idea. We can spend a little bit of time and energy and maybe a little bit of money building out a website, test it out. If it works, we build it up. If it doesn't, we throw it in the trash and start again. Absolutely. Sign me up. So I just was able to then amp up my serial entrepreneurial endeavors through that mechanism. I called it my second tuition. I had originally had a full ride scholarship to college, but because of realizing that what I was learning in class was just failing in comparison to what I was learning on my own through these endeavors, I ended up just spending less and less time on school, lost the scholarship, dropped out, and just went full bore into this. Because in school I was studying advertising, but it was all about kind of the old world of advertising, newspapers, magazines, television, which was interesting. But then at night I was going home and building these different little internet companies, and it was just such a more vibrant, fascinating world for me. So shifted all of my energies into that, left school, dove into it full time, eventually started figuring out how to make more money than I was spending on it. It takes a little time sometimes to figure things out, but I got really good at understanding just that internet ecosystem, both how to come up with an idea, how to then put that idea into like a website form, how to then use email marketing and the basics of what advertising was back then. This was before Google did pay-per-click ads. This was obviously before social media and mobile was anything, even a blip in anybody's eye, right? And so as I then grew and learned more how to do this, I stumbled into, in the early days, what was even back then called affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing was not a lot different than it is today as far as the core of it, right? It's somebody getting a product or a service and sharing a link to that product or service on their website or on their blog back then. And then they got very good at kind of developing those relationships with with brands and with advertisers, and then helping them connect with people who had blogs or websites. So I kind of went from building my own websites and ideas to then kind of being that connector between the two. I'd still build some products and some other things both digitally. You know, I built a business that did streaming video early on in the early to mid 2000s. I got into you know, mailing and different products here and there as well. But I became a really solid connector of advertisers with affiliates, right? People who had blogs and websites and other ways. And so then through that, I started developing technology to help facilitate those relationships. And then social media started becoming a thing, mobile started becoming a thing. And so through the whole evolution of the digital ecosystem, I just continued to build different technology platforms and relationships with advertisers, with affiliates, with influencers, and just continue to grow. Eventually ended up building a digital marketing agency that then further facilitated all of that. And through that experience, just took me all over the place. I ended up in you know, LA doing work there and building companies there. Then in New York, building companies out there. For some time, I was essentially a hired gun for traditional agencies or other large brands who wanted to tap into this digital world, but really had no idea how to do so, either from a sales and marketing perspective or from a technology perspective. And so they'd bring me on as you know, like a partner or a contract basis to help them then figure that out and then build it up, and then I'd move on to the next one and take a little bit of piece of the pie with me. So that's kind of what led me to a few years ago connecting with the Morton brothers and all that has started to happen with Oliabo.
So now you connected with Gordon. Now that was in his movie when he was doing the Hollywood stuff, right? And movie
That's
production.
Correct.
That's where you first met.
Correct. Yeah, one of the entrepreneurial endeavors that I was doing, because I'm always doing, you know, I usually have my hands in multiple things, and that's generally because one thing has never been overly able to take my full energy, attention, focus, and excitement. Except for now, actually, the only one thing that I'm putting all of my energy into now is Oliabo, because it is that exciting, that engaging, that interesting to me. But at the time, several years back, I had a virtual reality company. So me and a friend, we were building a VR company, creating VR content, virtual worlds, doing work for other people. And it was fun and interesting, but the VR was not really paying the bills yet. And so we would on the side, we would do movie projects because we had a team that was really good at building all sorts of visual effects. There's a lot of overlap between visual effects for movies and visual effects for virtual reality, and so we would do movie projects. And yeah, that's how I first met Gordon. One of his movies that he was building, he needed some alien visual effects, and we were great at creating monsters and aliens. And by we, I mean my team. I was just lucky enough to be able to work with a really talented team there. And so that's how Gordon and I first met, and then helped them with that project. And then a couple years later, we reconnected on another project that he was working on, and been stuck together ever since.
And you both have a real history with olive oil and that whole part too. So maybe elaborate on that a little bit with you.
Yeah, the whole evolution of Oliabo, it's really fascinating when you get into the details of the organic nature of how it's all come about. So, of course, with the Morton brothers and their family history, their mom growing up in Italy and the olive and olive oil and the olive tree being such an integral part of her cultural experience that she then translated to them, of course, and then their experiences of spending so much time and living there and spending a lot of time there. But for me, my journey started about, let's think, almost 3 years ago now. My wife and I were traveling in the Mediterranean. This was before Gordon and I had reconnected after the movie thing, so we had met through the movie experience, but hadn't really talked about anything else after that. So Oliabo wasn't even a blip in anybody's eye at that point. And my wife and I were traveling in the Mediterranean, and during that trip, we were there for about two to 3 weeks, and we spent a couple of days on an olive farm. And it was just one of those things where it's like, oh, it'd be really cool to go to Italy and spend some time on on the olive farm. It's not that I knew anything more about olives or olive oil than anybody else at the time. It just seemed like it would be a fun thing to do. But it just so happens that the olive farm that we stayed on was focused on developing high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. They had all sorts of different professors and researchers from universities all over the world that would come and do studies on their trees, their processes, their olive oil, their olives. And so I got way more than I bargained for and had any clue about in those couple of days. Learned all about the history, of course, of the olive trees, olive tree-derived products, but a huge, incredible, mind-blowing deep dive on high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. I'd never even heard of that. I was like the majority of people at the time. Olives, olive oil, yeah, it's good for you. Part of a healthy diet. Put it on some salad. That's great. But that was it for me. So when they, when the team there that was running this family-run olive farm started to unfold the multiple layers of all the different things that olives, olive oil, and olive tree-derived products could be, especially the high phenolic aspect, that's really what their expertise was. It blew my mind. And ever since that time, I've been sourcing my own high phenolic extra virgin olive oil from that location and taking it every day, just straight, like a tablespoon or more a day since that time. And so now, fast forward a couple of years, which was a little over a year ago now, Gordon and I had reconnected and we're working on some other things. But then Gordon, in the fall of 2024, had his epiphany, his historical experience, his family heritage, and then he had his epiphany in that fall of 2024 when he was staying on the olive farm and he saw this first press of the first press green, vibrant olive oil experience that he had there on a local farm that he's spent a lot of time at. He brought that experience up last year, beginning of last year, so January. And when he started talking about olives and olive oil, and I immediately was reminded of all that I had learned a couple of years before, and high phenolic, and so I was like, do you know anything about high phenolic extra virgin olive oil? And he was like, no, tell me about it. So we started talking about that, and then Ashley dug in and was like, have you guys heard of oleocanthal? And was like, whoa, what is this? And then Joe was like, do you know anything about olive leaf extract? And so we just all had these different focuses and things that we had organically come to individually that was really beneficial to us that then collectively created this beautiful, amazing world that you're seeing unfold through Oliabo.
So what we're seeing here is a culmination of all of these things coming together, and the synergistic effect of all these of the people and the experiences that allow us to come with this very unique opportunity. And each and every one of you, whether it's Gordon or Joe or Ashley or yourself, bring different areas of expertise that and life experiences that are necessary to build the Oliabo type company where we're gonna change the world nutritionally, right?
Yeah, that's so true, right? So there's that organic way that just our different experiences with the product and what's becoming the product and has become the product happened that brought us all together. But yes, our skill sets are, there's some good overlap, but there's such unique differences in our past, in our experiences, in the way that we think about things and see things, and how that all blends together. I mean, anybody that's spent a little bit of time around Gordon, he's so creative and visionary, and is able to just pull out of the ether these incredible concepts and ideas. And it's fascinating and fun and so engaging to watch that process that he goes through. Joe, he is an incredible operator and communicator, and just goes and does incredible things to find products, to source products, to build relationships. So engaging on so many levels. Ashley, incredibly talented in a million different ways, and her skincare and her formulation skills are top-notch, both from a formulaic perspective, from the scent profiles, from the ingredient sourcing and how she puts all that together. She makes things that are very simple. They seem sophisticated and simple, but the time and energy and effort that she puts into bringing all the right pieces together, and not just the individual ingredients, but the specific sourcing of those ingredients, right? The type of high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, the type of other components that go into each thing, from Flex to what she's working on for Treviso right now, the other skincare line, incredible. And then you've got, of course, Kent Wood, our CFO, with his incredible background and history within the network marketing space, but his financial mind and the way that he can model things out. You've got Brent Baum, which some of you have seen, probably some content a little bit in some of our videos with Brent Baum. He was one of the original team members that helped build Pixar, and his strategy and the way that he goes after things is just one of my most favorite aspects of this business, is learning from him just about strategy and the way to think about things in a totally different way than I ever have thought about or done before, and how he's able to apply his experience in the entertainment industry across so many different things that help us. And then, of course, the different team members that we're building, like Adam Blake and Ben and others that have come on board later in the process that are just so helpful in so many ways and so focused on helping the field succeed, helping us internally succeed. It's just an incredible team that's come together. Honestly, I've worked with a lot of teams over the years, right? I've been building businesses for over 25 years now. I've had some wild successes, and I've had some incredible failures. And every time the failures were more likely to happen when the team was not in sync and when the team didn't have the right kind of overlap in skill sets and differentiation in skill sets. I've come to learn now that team, both in the companies that I build, and I also do a lot of investing in different startups and businesses, I focus on team more than anything else. I'll take a mediocre product. I don't want a mediocre product, but if I was to invest, I would invest in a company that had a mediocre product but an excellent team, because I know that team can take that mediocre product and make it a great product and make a great story and make a great business, over the most incredible product in the world with a mediocre team, because I know that team isn't going to be able to survive the onslaught that inevitably comes with business and competition and all the different challenges that happen. And this team is by far the most dynamic, invested, all-in, incredible team that I've ever had the chance to work with.
Well, as we're getting kind of, I guess, a sneak peek into what is coming, there's a date coming called 3/11 of 26, and I kind of look at that and think of that as kind of the official launch date of Oliabo, because you have so many things that you're pulling together that is the culmination that will allow the average person to take a few minutes a day to make a full-time income with simply using the technology and all the stuff that you guys are bringing into place. Have you got some stuff that you can share with us on that?
Yeah, I can share a little bit with you. I mean, obviously, everything takes work, right? There's ways to do things more effectively and efficiently, and I always would rather try to work smarter than harder, although I work extremely hard. And the combination of those things, if you can work smart and hard, you're going to be vastly more successful than you could be otherwise. And that combination of the technology that we're working on, with the content that we're working on, with the different team, both internally and externally, right? All of you, Keith, other leaders, the field, you're the ones that really are the heroes making it happen. And so at corporate, it's our job to really give you those tools, give you the support, give you the technology and the incredible products to be able to carry forward and do the heroic things that you do to get it out there into the world. And so we've teased a little bit about with the Own Your Own Life campaign and how that's going to work. I can kind of, for those who aren't familiar with it and for those who are, I'll go into a little bit more detail on that. So essentially, we've created some incredible content that's a video piece, and we'll continue to evolve that and grow that. But there's a video piece that we've created that essentially walks people through in a few minutes. It's very short, 3 to 4 minutes, but gives people the vision of what an opportunity could be like that could present the type of life and lifestyle that we all want and crave. And it's beautifully done. Gordon does a great job on it, and the team's done a good job. And that will live on a page of each of your replicated websites. And so there'll be a specific page dedicated to that video, and the page is going to be very clean, where it's just really that video and a button underneath it. Above the video, it's going to say Own Your Own Life, the video, and then underneath it a button that says ready. no other navigation on the page. It's going to be very clean so that people that land on that page, it's just very directional, one direction. Watch the video, consume the content, get excited, click on that ready button to move into the world of Oliabo. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to create these very simple but clean, sophisticated, beautiful business cards that will allow you to get. And those business cards, the one side will say own your own life, the other side will be a simple QR code, and that QR code will be unique to each of your replicated websites so that it will then send anybody that you give that card to. When they scan that QR code, it will go directly to that page on your replicated website, so when the person then takes further action, they're immediately connected to you as a customer or brand rep, however they come into the system from there. And so it's a simple tool that makes it easy for anyone to share the Oliabo experience without having to feel like you need to be sophisticated at sales or technology or knowing how to fully talk about oleocanthal, verbascicide, polyphenols, and all the other detailed technical knowledge of the products. Even though that's great, like, get that knowledge, but you don't have to feel like you have to do that. You don't have to try to overly sell something, because really this whole world and what we're trying to create is, it's not about selling people, right? It's about sharing with people. I love how Joe puts it. He talks about human touch marketing, and it's humans caring enough about other humans to share a story, to share an experience, to share an incredible product that's helped them. And that's really what this business is all about, right? And so Own Your Own Life and some of the other tools that we're creating are sophisticated but simple tools that you can use to do that in an easy way that's not intimidating, that allows you to really just duplicate that incredible knowledge and content that we're creating to build your business. And that's just one thing. We've got a variety of other things that we have planned to help do the same, but that's one big one that we've got coming. We've got some other pieces that will help do that, as well as continuing to evolve and grow the replicated website sophistication, the content on the websites in general, and some other tools too.
And I know that you're also looking to allow people to really make a social marketing impact with a simple, making sure everything is in their back office and click of a button, and be able to do some social media marketing as well as coming. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing a lot more to. Ashley and Brooks and Gordon are doing a great job at putting out a lot of new content plans, as far as like things like the Oliabo effect that we've shared some of the videos of, where it's short snippets of content that is engaging and educational. It's not necessarily marketing heavy, where it's like, get Oliabo. It's basically educating in a fun, creative way about olive tree derived products, about just a variety of different things, from product concepts to just life concepts and how to live a better life. And there'll be tight snippets that can then be shared across social media that'll give people different entry points into the world of Oliabo and this experience that we're all creating together. So those will be different ways that you can share. There will be other content pieces that we create as well that are static. So there'll be video, static like imagery, content that can be shared. And a lot of that will then, it's all about then taking those pieces, sharing them with people, either via text, on your own social media accounts, and then, or in emails, and then connecting that to your replicated site through the links that are there in your back office, so that then people can come in, have a great experience with that little piece of content, and then engage more by jumping directly into your replicated website, which then will facilitate them onboarding and getting into the product and the experience themselves.
So we're going to suggest that everybody write down 3/11 of 26 and have it on their calendar for these announcements that you're going to come out with, right?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to want to be ready for that. So 3/11/26 is a really important date. So that's when we'll be kicking off some of these things and then continuing to the next level, right? So we're now at this phase of growth and excitement and engagement, to where it's time for all of us to step up to the next level. And it's a great opportunity to kind of kick that off on 3/11. So there'll be some technology improvements you'll see then. There'll be content improvements on your own life, some new website updates, and a bunch of other things that we'll be announcing and sharing then.
So we're very excited about everything that we're seeing here, Curtis. You know, we're the engagement of the management. I happen to have a friend that lives in a town you may have heard of called Murray, Utah, and he tells me that when he drives by in the evening, he sees the lights are on, and you know, at a certain office there in Murray, Utah. So we know that you guys are putting the time and the effort in there, and that's what we talk about. You're never any better than the people you're in business with. And that's why we're fully engaged with Curtis and with Gordon and Joe and Ashley, you know, and the other team members that are there. I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple of people's. Matthew, I'm going to go to you first, and so if you've got any questions there, I'm going to unmute you and see if you have something that you want to ask Curtis specifically.
Yeah, just 1 second. Let me get to a quiet area here. Yeah, Curtis, first of all, appreciate you being on this call and taking the time to, you know, to be able to share your story and your background. Really appreciate that. You know, my question is, you know, just really, you know, where do you see 2 to 5 years from now?
Okay, so you got a lot of background noise there, but the question is, where do you see Oliabo in the next 3 to 5 years, Curtis?
In the next 3 to 5 years, yeah, I guess there's a few different ways to look at that. First of all, thank you for being here and for being a part of this, and so kind to be so gracious, all of you, to be here and to share this time with me. So thank you. But in the next 3 to 5 years, there's a few different ways that I look at it. So the main vision here, the main mission, right? We're first all about people and product, right? Incredible people like yourselves are really what makes this all possible and takes the vision and the product forward. And unique and powerful products change lives, and together we really make this opportunity happen. And so for me, in the next 3 to 5 years, we need to be laser focused on creating incredible products that work, that are unique, that really solve problems, and then continue to build the community and the support that the community needs to carry those products forward. So for me, that includes making sure that we are thoughtful about every single product that we bring to bear. As we've talked about in different meetings and presentations, we will probably never have hundreds of products. In fact, I'm sure we will never have hundreds of products. We could, but we have no desire to. We want to be very thoughtful about the products that we have. So over the next 3 to 5 years, we'll have several products that we'll roll out, but it will be very thoughtful. Skincare, other internals that we're working on and thinking about, some potential hair products and some other things like that. But it's going to be very thoughtful. But I would expect probably another 5 to 10 products in that time period would roll out. So that's one thing from the product side. From the community and people side, there's obviously going to be a lot of growth that happens. But with that growth, one of the things that we're focused on is making sure that we can provide world-class support, right? So we'll continue to be working on hiring the right team and having the right tools to provide the support that is necessary to handle the growth that's happening now and into the future. So I think about things a lot from like a growth, I call it growth architecture. And over the next 3 to 5 years, with products, with people, and with the growth that comes from that and the lives that are blessed both from the products, from the experiences, and from the financial opportunity that we're all building together. In order to facilitate all that, we need to think from like a growth architecture mindset is what I think of. And that includes the team structure, the technology structure, the product structure, the supply chain management. So those are some of the things. I think part of that also will include some other unique type of sourcing that we've got planned, right? So we've got some really unique sources that we're working on right now. Some of those we haven't announced, but we'll continually be refining our sourcing strategy because ultimately where we get our product ingredients from is what makes the product so potent, powerful, and unique. And so over the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to continue to keep a tight, strict focus on our sourcing, on our relationship development, so that we can make sure that we continually have the best products, the best ingredients, so that we can make sure that they're actually working and useful and making a difference in my life personally, in your lives, and in the lives of those that you share with. Because again, people and product are the focus, the vision, the mission. Without that, what are we doing here?
Well, great answer there, Curtis. Really appreciate that. I want to go to my friends in Tracy. They're brand new to Oliabo. Got their product delivered today, but they are veterans in the network marketing space, and we're to the point of we don't want to do this again, and because they've been let down. But I know they probably have a couple of questions. My friends Walt and Debbie, are you there?
Yes, we're here.
You have a question for Curtis?
I don't think so. We're new to we're not new to network marketing at all. And last time we were in network marketing, we said we would never do it again. We're old. And it was something that we...
You're experienced. You're experienced.
Yes, okay, we're very experienced. Anyway, we said we would never do it again. And we have known Keith for years and years and years. And he presented this to us, and we were hesitant because of not wanting to do network marketing. And we are starting. We got our product. You know, it's like I knew nothing about olive oil. But we're learning. And every day we're working more and more on it. And we're looking forward to start taking the product and using the product. And my thing is I don't know of any of this team, but at this point, I thank you for sharing, because it has definitely made my confidence in this company go above and beyond. And we're looking forward to building it.
So, that's incredible. I mean, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, and our, you know, my thing is, if the product does half of what I've heard, we're all in.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Deb.
Go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say one thing. I think you mentioned, which is where I was at a few years ago. It's like most people know little really about olive oil, olive tree-derived products, and that is where the opportunity lies, right? I call that the awareness gap. I call it the awareness gap, and I made up that term because we've seen this at play throughout our lives, especially in the network marketing space. I mean, when I go into the store, the pharmacy or Walmart or anywhere, and I can now see ginkgo biloba and echinacea and a million other things on the shelves in every store, most of those came about because of network marketing and people like yourselves getting out there and driving forward the message and filling the gap of awareness for those products. And olives and olive oil are a perfect example, right? The awareness gap is simply the difference between like common beliefs and what's actually possible with a product. And olives and olive oil are a perfect example of that, right? For thousands of years, the common belief has been olives and olive oil, healthy, part of the Mediterranean diet, good for you, that's great. But the reality now, over just the recent period of time of the last 10, 15, 20 years, is that the evidence and the science now shows that high-quality olive tree-derived products, not just olive oil or olives, but high-quality olive tree-derived products, contain powerful phytonutrients, polyphenols, and others that we had no idea about that are incredibly powerful. And now we also have modern technology manufacturing processes that make it possible to unleash the full potential of these ancient botanicals. And so bridging that gap, right, trying the products, developing your own story and experience, educating others, introducing them to products that actually work, that's how lives are changed. And that's where real impact and opportunity exist.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Deb. Thank you.
And is not, people know olive oil is great or extra virgin olive oil is good for you, but to tell them why ours is better than what they can buy on the shelf or order from somewhere else is going to be the key to...
Yeah, I think you're...
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you're absolutely right. Right. It's like sharing that story and then helping them understand beyond that. Right. It's the what is Prima and what is Prima about and what is Flex and what is Flex about. Right. Because olive oil is the base. Olives and olive oil and olive tree derived products. But where does it go from there? Because when they understand the power of these other types of products that are being created, right, from the olive leaf extract, the olive pulp extract, from the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, all these different compounds and components we talk about, and how the simplicity but the sophistication of Prima, Flex, Treviso, the other products make that easy to get into our daily lives. It's an incredible opportunity because whenever you find a massive audience that has a massive awareness gap for a product that is universal, like olives and olive oil, and then you can create truly unique products like Prima, Flex, and other things to bring the power of that into their lives. It's not just a good opportunity. It's possibly one of the most significant natural product movements, honestly, of our time that we've seen in decades, and we get to lead that movement together.
Yes, as we're learning more and more about it, we can see that.
Well, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Walt, for being here. I'm going to go to our friend down in Las Vegas, my friend Janice Miller. We've only been friends with Janice and her husband, Michael, for a short time, I think 30 some odd years. Janice, is that about right? 30, 35 maybe? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Keith rescued me a long time ago from the casinos in Las Vegas, and I made a... Well, you know, it wasn't an easy road dealing with the people, and the worst part of the casino was the backstabbing employees, because I rose to the top, and then I decided to have children, and I decided, you know, I have to find a way out of this casino, and I was working then in California at the Commerce Casino for 9 years. And I decided I didn't want to drive an hour each way and never see my children. So networking was the way, and I didn't know anything about it, but Keith and Sandra Hooper were kind enough to bring me in, and we had great mentors and did well. Was able to be a single stay-at-home mom with 2 baby boys.
Wow.
Well, Janice,
that's incredible. I thought you were joking about the casino thing, but no, you were deep into that was your career and all that, and you realized I need to change, and this was the path. That's amazing.
Yeah, 20 years into it. I rose to the top of the casino world, and I could have went on, but I didn't want to. You know, I could have, but I didn't do it because of reasons that I wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to be able to raise my children, you know, not to have to go to work and then come home. I had a nanny, of course. I had a live-in nanny. And, you know, I don't know what she's feeding their brains with, and, you know what I mean, their mind and everything. So they got to watch their mom be an entrepreneur from home, and I had to shush them a lot because I'm on the phone. But, you know, one of my sons really took after me, and he was in the DSD marketing, drop shipping, and now he and his brother have the top selling shoe cleaner on the planet, and I'm grateful for that because they're never going to come home and ask Mom for money. So, and so, but you know.
So Janice, let me ask you. So what are you seeing here at Oliabo that you think is different than the other things that we've seen over the years? And the question for Curtis.
Curtis, you know, first of all, it's a great teamwork makes the dream work, as we know. And, you know, as the company's building their structure and everything, I'm just privileged to be part of it. And I, you know, brought in a lot of my top people, but they're also sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen. And I'm just saying, well, just use the product. You'll feel what's going to happen. You know, that's my point. I
That's great.
didn't waste a moment, and I got my husband to take the product. He's not a network marketer. He believes in what I do because obviously I bring in some money, enough to handle our wine budget and all that good stuff. But anyway, he had some great results, and we've only had the product in our lives for 2 months. And the flex is amazing for me, especially because I am half Italian and I talk with my hands. And by the way, I almost got fired right away from the casinos because I talk with my hands and they go, "I thought you were tipping your hand to the player."
Oh, goodness.
Yes. But anyway, it's great to have all these wonderful people, yourself included, and it's really great to know your future, your past, and what we're going to be doing in the present. So, welcome. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much. I love how you say, I think, Gordon taught me the term. A lot of you are probably familiar with the term, but being a product of the product, right? I take the product. I take Prima every single day. I use Flex all the time. I've got young kids. I've got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and so they run me ragged. 2 boys, and so I'm a product of the product, and I think that really, you want to know what's going to happen for the business side, take the product. That'll tell you everything you need to know. I never thought of it that way, but that's so true, right? You take the product, you become a product of the product, and that will also tell you everything you need to know about where the business can go for you and for everybody. That's great.
Well, I got a couple more people real quick. We got a lot of people here. We're not going to be able to get to them all, but I want to go to my friend Ed Lacey. Ed and I have only been friends for 25 years, so he's a new friend. So, Ed, you have a question for Curtis or a thought that you'd like to ask him about?
Congratulations, Curtis. On a job well done, still in progress. I say that
Thank you.
because I'm like many of Keith's other friends. We've been knowing each other for several years, and we've done a couple of things together. And I, too, like my friends and Tracy said, not again, never again. I'm old. I don't need nothing else. Not I don't need anything. I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah,
I've had, so many experiences that didn't pan out the way I thought. But like Janine said, take the product, and that's a roadmap right there. Mm-hmm. And if you can say no to this after you use the product, you really don't want to do anything else. You just come to that part in life where you really don't want to do anything else, because this one is a winner. Just by me taking the product and knowing what it can do for me, it can do the same thing for thousands of other people. And so for that reason, I'm in. I said yes. I appreciate the opportunity to be on board early.
That's well said. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's, I was at, honestly, a point in my life where because I've been blessed with some of the other experiences I've had and business things that I've done and investments I've made, that I didn't need to do anything again. But, I thought if I ever come across something that really is meaningful and that can bring about real change and also has, the natural result of that is a good financial opportunity, I'd consider it. And so when Gordon brought this up, and it connected so well with what I was already doing in my own life personally, and I thought about how that could then affect so many other people, both from the the product and the benefits of the things we could do there and the opportunity. I thought, you know what, I'm in. I'm all in. And so I feel exactly what a lot of you are sharing, right? It's like, this is my first rodeo in network marketing, but I've done a lot of other things in business. And I thought, I don't know if I want to do another thing, especially starting from the ground up again. Man, that can be hard. But the reality is, if you do it right with the right people, like you keep saying, right? It's not just the right people on the corporate side, but the other people you get to work with day to day on the field side, and the leaders and the friends and family and others you get to share great products with. If you do it right, with the right product, with the right attitude, it's so much fun. It's interesting, it's fun, it's engaging, it blesses your life, it blesses the lives of other people, and that's what the real opportunity is, right? And that's what makes it fun and engaging and worth doing. You don't want to do something that's a slog and that just feels just like a struggle every day, and so, yeah, I feel you. But this is different. It feels different to me. You can all feel it. It's great.
It is. I want to go to one last friend of mine. Now, this friend of mine's been around for 35, for almost 40 years, and he lives out in eastern Idaho where they're having a heat spell today practically, and it's our good friend Hernan Lawless. It's our good friend Hernan Lawless there. So Hernan, glad you took a few minutes to join us here. Hernan is our upline, so all of you know, to all of this, and it's a great honor to have you join us as well here, Hernan.
Thank you, Keith. Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate you so much. I had a connection with you the minute I met you. It was on July 17th that Robin and I went down to the corporate office to find out what in the world the Morton brothers were up to. And that's when we met you. And ever since, you've been incredible. As much as I'm constantly poking at you and prodding at you and asking for your help, and you've just been so generous. It's been an amazing experience, and it just what it does is it just instills the confidence that's needed to take on a leadership role and take this company to where we all know it's going, to the top of the industry. I really have a great vision for this. I just basically just wanted to thank you for all of your support and everything that you're doing there at the corporate office. I really appreciate it.
Well, Hernan, thank you so much. Honestly, I feel the same way like that. I remember when we first met. Well, the day before we met, Gordon, Gordon came over and he said, I just got off a phone call with some past connections, some good connections from the past, and he explained it that basically the way that you kind of came across initially was like he's like, I could feel like he had his arms crossed, kind of like, okay, what are you going to share? I mean, not that you were mean or anything. I mean, you guys have a great relationship. It's just kind of like, oh, another thing, I'll listen. But he said that by the time the conversation was over, it felt like you were leaning in, and not just that, but you were like, can we come tomorrow? Which you did say, and you did do. and honestly, from that moment that you walked in, and you and Robin, we had the chance to just connect and engage. And ever since then, I've just really appreciated the chance to build a friendship with you and to be able to support your leadership efforts. You've just done so much and continue to do so much. And honestly, I'm here for everything, every minute of it, right? The good and the bad, because together, that's how we succeed. That's how we rise. And I'm grateful for you, Hernan, and other leaders like you, Keith. Seriously, you're on the call, right? That's the reason I'm here, right? Sure, I want to build a successful company and the rewards that come from that financially, but I've been blessed with those financial rewards in other ways where I don't need to do that. And so for me, it has to have the other meaning. It has to have the people. It has to have the community. It has to have the connection. And I'm here for all of it, right? I'm here to support that. I'm here to help you through the ups and downs, the ins and outs. And I appreciate you, Hernan. I appreciate you, Keith, and all of you. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to go around and unmute everybody. I'll start with you, Matthew, if you got something, if you can talk. But I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody else here. So if you have something else that you'd like to say to Curtis, because we got 1 minute left of his time. Okay.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey.
Tony D'Angelo. First of all, really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. So awesome. I truly feel blessed. I've been praying for something like this, and when I saw the olive, me being 100% Italian, I was, oh man, and Joe and Gordon, and it's exactly that, the people. I saw you and got your Italian going, ciao, buonasera, right? It's like, oh man, you're taking me back to Italy. I'm like,
that's amazing.
What an amazing team. You guys, you are, doing stuff. I'm so grateful. This is going to be it is. It's the best thing I've ever seen. But it's because of the people. As soon as I saw it, my good friend Janice, through Keith, longtime friends, said, "Hey, olive oil." I'm like, "Olive oil? Okay, I use olive oil every day." And I found out about the olive oil. I said, "Man, okay." So, what an awesome team. I just wanted to ask. It sounds like you got something going. I had a health and wellness website, and then they showed me how to use Facebook, and I was trying to build that, but I have like 300 or so customers or followers, right? So I want to be able to, find out how to contact them. What's the best thing to do? It sounds like you got something coming.
Yeah, and
is that right?
I think we'll also focus a lot on, in the future, creating some different kinds of content and tutorials and probably calls too, where we'll walk people through. We'll do some videos and demonstrations like, here's some different ways that you can approach people, whether it's through text or email or through social media. Here's how you can leverage your replicated website. We're going to get into a lot of that more as we go, because there's different ways to do it, right? The old school ways that we've shared before still work today, and there's some new school ways, and the blending of those two things can work so well together. So yeah, I love your attitude. I appreciate your gratitude too. I'm grateful for you, and appreciate your gratitude and the opportunity to be able to move forward together. So we definitely have some things planned, and we'll continue to drive that forward and help wherever we can to support your journey and your efforts.
Well, thank you, Curtis, for taking the time to be with us here on our power call. We really appreciate it. You've given us a great insight into where Oliabo is going, and I know that we've kept you longer than I said we would, and you've given us that valuable thing you have called time, and we really appreciate that. And so with all of you, this will be available on a replay coming up very shortly. So once again, Curtis, thank you for your time today, my friend.
Thank you so much, Keith, and everyone for participating. Time is the most valuable thing that any of us has, and so to be able to share it together like this, it means a lot to me as well. So thank you for sharing your time with me and allowing me to be a part of this call. Let's go. Let's andiamo, right? Let's move forward together and have a great weekend.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Curtis.
Take care, everybody.
Ciao.
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 Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.